Okay, it is time to begin. Yet again. My throat just gave out on me. Defense by mobile defense. This is stupid. Wow, you're mean. But, welcome to today's sortie video. Today, we are going to go on a topic that is very boring. It is not the board topic that I went on before. It is not board games of any sort. It is the library. The library.
The enemy is at our doorstep. You must defend our
Okay,
equipment
that's
until
nice. I got stuck.
reinforcements
Oh.
arrive.
Okay then. But honestly, I don't even know fully why myself I decided to go on this topic, but I did. I just kind of wanted to go on the topic of the library for whatever reason. So, I never really ever go into libraries because, as I said before, to me they're very boring. I'm not a big reader. It's not like I hate reading with a passion or anything like that. I don't like reading. I would much rather prefer to just like listen or watch. I'm much more of a visual like learner when it comes to things like that, so yeah. And just like so on and so forth. I've never really enjoyed that because of those reasons. And I do have like a library card for the local library in like my area, but I never really use it. When I was younger, my family tried to like get me into reading more by putting me into this like reading competition thing that our library does, where you can just like win little doodads that are mostly just like pencils and like notebooks and stuff, mainly like just school things from like reading more than others. And then you'd write down what book you read, and then they'd find the book, and then they'd see how big it is, and they'd see how complicated it is, and like so on and so forth. And if it was like really big and really complicated and you actually read the entire thing, then like they'll give you like more points for those types of books. But if it was just some child's book and yeah, you read the entire thing, you'll only get a little bit. Now, I know I kind of like exaggerated at some point because there were a few times like I was reading the whatever the heck they're called, the Percy Jackson books at one point. And I read like the first two in their entirety when I was really younger for like the points and everything. But then I started getting bored of the series, but I still wanted to like keep getting that, so I just kind of like started skimming things. That's now I'm very bad at skimming, but that is like technically the beginning of when I actually started like skimming through things to get through it faster. And like that's when I originally started to get really out of reading because it was not enjoyable. It wasn't fun. For me, I was like, how do people find this fun? It's not fun. And like that just kind of continued like that for a while until I got a little bit older. And then I actually, like, in school, we had a reading class where we had to pick a book out from the library in that class, read it, and then take a test on it, like, through the computer. Now, this was, like, really weird how they organized it, because I remember that there was, like, an actual class, and this was just, like, that was, like, the weekly quizzes. Like, we still had an actual class, but we didn't actually, like, go over anything, really. It was kind of stupid. And I would read a whole lot of different books, and then I'd have to sign in, and then from there I would like just take this test. At one point, I kind of cheated a little bit because I found the Star Wars books, and now me having watched all the Star Wars movies like 10 times each, like yeah, I know, and they're not exact copies of the book, but nonetheless, I would still like be able to do pretty well on them with just the knowledge of from the movies. So then I started doing each of like the Star Wars books and each of like the books that I knew from movies, and it worked out pretty darn well. With I started doing better on each of the tests. I wasn't like doing bad in the class ever, but it was more of like a C to B range. And then when I realized that I could just kind of like cheat the system, sort of, not entirely, but sort of, I started getting like A's and B's in the class, and it was a lot more frequent. But it's just kind of like the way the cookie crumbled in that. Oh god. Where did my energy go? I know I had enough energy to use both these abilities a moment ago. And I do know that there are like the people that really enjoy reading, that like that's what they do for like fun and for other things like that. But I have never been one of these people. I've always considered reading to be more boring than anything else. And I don't really... Now, even though there is one thing that I do, like, it's not that I can't get interested in the story, it's just I don't like the way that it really portrays things, I guess, is probably the big reason I personally don't like reading. Because when it comes to, like, books, I hate reading. But, like, yet I watch anime and things like that where there are subtitles, where I don't actually know what they're saying, so I need to read whatever the heck they're saying. And I'm completely fine with doing that. Now, I do honestly... I'm not like other people where they're like subs, master race, whatever, and like so on and so forth. But at the same time, I'm kind of like 50 with it, 50-50, because the big reason I like dubs is because I like being able to do something else while I'm watching a show, like have the show on in the background or something while I'm listening to it, and I can understand what they're saying because they'll be speaking English for the dub, and then like I can work on like homework or something. But when it's subbed, I can't do that. It's too difficult because I'd have to like swap back every time they speak so I can read what they're saying. I was about to say, did the guy get inside? Is he trapping him in the corner? That's pretty amusing. So... But that's just like when it comes with me with reading a manga, it's not really. And that is also actually something that I don't even do. And I think the reason that I enjoy like it in anime format is because that actually gives me like a visual with everything. Like even when it comes to, like, manga and like comic books, I don't really read those either. Now those would be a bit different of a read, that's for sure. But what the heck? I didn't hit my second ability. And how are you not dead yet? And yeah, when it comes to like anime, I'm fine with seeing it and everything. And I'm like, I'm glad that I could see whatever the heck they're talking about, but I don't really, I think because books, for the most part, really don't have that, I wouldn't really like it. It is, like, one of the reasons why I don't like it. Now, obviously, I'm just, like, speculating. I really don't know why I do, why I don't like the things that I do and do not like when it comes to reading. But, nonetheless, I'm going to say what I think is right. And that is how you use a laser beam. But, I've kind of gotten off library and more onto reading. But, ow, just trying to crack my neck. But when it comes to the library, it is a place that, if you do not know it, you can get a insane amount of books from. There are books literally everywhere. And, like, there are computers there, but those are more to, like, help you find books than anything else. Now, yes, you can use them just to, like, find things out or search stuff up on the internet, but that's not really their main goal. Now, when it comes to, like, the library, usually people do, like, associate it with being, like, more of a boring place. It's something that you should do with research. And they were a lot more relevant in the past, when, like, the internet really didn't exist, because before you'd have to go to the library, look up whatever the heck you need to look up for school and for college and all that. And that was really your only way of getting information. And you'd have to do that through, like, reading books and finding what book will give you this information. But now that everyone has the internet and all that information is just on the internet, for the most part, the library has become a lot less popular. And, like, when it comes to libraries, honestly, I don't really know how they make money. I think that they're paid by the, like, the city or by the state. I don't know which one. And honestly, I'm not even 100% sure about that. I think so, but I don't know. I know that you do need, like, a library account and everything, and I don't think you need one, but you can get one. And I think that costs a little bit of money. Plus, in the past, when I was younger, I'd get, like, movies from there, like these really old, stupid movies where you'd have, like, a late fee if you don't turn them in a week. And then, like, same with libraries, there's, like, a fee if you don't turn in whatever the heck book you got within a certain amount of time. You'd have to recheck it out, or you'd have to recheck it out, or just turn it in and be like, nah, I'm not gonna read the rest of it, type deal. So, yeah, I really am not entirely sure when it comes to libraries and how they make any money or profit or anything. I really don't know. I was just saying, like, I'm pretty sure they just get paid from the city or whatever, because otherwise I can't imagine most libraries staying in business for as long as they really have. God dang it. Okay, now that I've died once. Ugh. I hate and it's like Eximus Vault. So, okay. Back to the top. Does this count again? I forget. No. No, it does not. I wasn't sure if that counted towards rage. Oh, there we go, finally. Okay, now back to the libraries.
Time to get out of here.
But I haven't been to one in literal years. Because the library in my city had, well, not my city, but you know what I mean. The city around me has like their library has a like kids specific area. So when I was younger, I'd go in there all the time because for like getting the books and everything, but for my for like that reading thing I was telling you about where they had that competition of who could read more, and then also for just like other books that my parents really kind of wanted me to read so I would get better at reading, which honestly I'm pretty decent at reading. I just hate it, so I don't do it. I'm not like the fastest reader in the world, and my skills have definitely deteriorated compared to like what they were in the past. I'm not even gonna lie. But at the same time, I wouldn't call myself a bad reader by any sense of the word. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna give that to this guy. I might as well start heading towards C. I'm the guy that doesn't do anything this round. Because that other guy decided to take my spot. Honestly, I'm not really... he already completed it, so that's good. I accidentally hit the aim button there. Here. Okay, but then as I grew up... Oh, God. But then as I grew up, I slowly kind of like learned what happens. Like how you're supposed to be doing these things, like so on and so forth. Or how you're supposed to be doing these things. How other people like use the library for like what type of reasonings.
triggered the alarms. Lose this data, and the mission will be a complete failure. Marines inbound.
Why the heck did he get into it and then decide it'd be a good idea to just stop?
You got it. The data is still intact. We
Like,
have
what the heck?
everything
I know
we
you
need.
triggered the alarms, but
Team
nothing's
strategy.
gonna shoot you when it's only the alarms that's got triggered. There isn't any enemies around. Oh, that was the first. It went like away from where usually. Like usually it's right next to C, which I guess it is closer to C than B, but at the same time. Usually it kind of goes with the straight line that it already had in the past.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
That wasn't excellent work. I had no idea. But then I started actually going into the other areas. The library was definitely a lot bigger than like I really perceived at that time. Because I would only go into like 2 areas of it. I would go into the like child area when I was younger, and then like the area right across, which just had like general information. But then there was areas in like the back that actually went into that like spiral format of like a lot of rows that went up to like the top of the building, and I was like, oh. And once I started going back there, it's honestly kind of cool how they like organize their the libraries, because the rows are only like thin enough for like 2 people to walk by, and that's if you're like trying to like turn and actually maneuver
This is
around
Lab
each other.
transmission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network.
But
Be prepared
if
for
you're
heavy
not doing
resistance.
that, then
Can't do this without you.
you're gonna have an issue, because honestly you might even run into each other.
Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend.
Dude, put the thing in the terminal first. Put the thing in the terminal. Oh my god, I hate you.
I'm in, Tenno.
Like, really?
This will take a moment.
I heard that. Where'd it go? It really fell off the world. That's just rude. But, just... Shoot, where was it going? And just, like, honestly, and that and, like, the architecture of the buildings, like, having the buildings in like, in such a close area, and having them to be in such a, and like the architecture of both the outside and the inside of the building is pretty cool and unique, honestly. I definitely... Really? How the hell did you go down? Inside? How the heck did you even go down on the... Who revived you? I really want this, and I hate the fact that I can't get it. But, and just like to have like you know how they have the columns on the outside that are like all white,
We are finished here. Move on.
and
I
the...
need access to a
Oh,
terminal.
what the heck?
Find one and patch me in.
Kind of like if I'm trying to give like an example of it, would be the White House. How there's the columns in the front part
Location reached. Drop me in.
that
Defend my position.
like make you think that it's holding the thing up. But I guess it does add structural integrity, but
This will
still.
take a moment.
And how the entire building has just... I just think that in general they look really cool. Honestly, I can't tell you the elements of architecture. I do not study that. I have no idea like what the technical terms are, what the jargon they use is. I would not be able to tell you such things. but at the same time, I can like appreciate something that I personally think looks good and I would say is well made. And in my opinion, then that is well made and that it does look pretty cool. Now, I can't say with like absolute certainty that there won't be like anything cooler, but I can definitely say that like these buildings are pretty decent looking. Ah, I got that one though. Oh, burst ability 5 times. I can do that easy.
Terminal hacked. Keep moving.
Where am I going? This way. And shoot, I have to go down. I'm pretty good at parkour in this game.
Terminal spotted. Upload me and prepare to defend.
And
I'm in, Tenno.
just being able.
This will take a moment.
I don't know what I'm trying to say here. And there is like a surprising amount of things that are actually in the library. Because as I was saying, like there are movies in there, there are like the actual books, there are a whole lot of other type of ooh, God, that was fast. There are a whole lot of different types of ways that you can like be entertained.
Continue to defend.
From going to the library. It's not just like 110% reading. Now, there is more reading than anything else, but that is besides the point. And it's not like there are no libraries that don't get used. I'm definitely in like an area in general where libraries are not the most popular thing, and it's not just that libraries in general are all really lackluster and like so on and so forth, because I know that there are like in other more popular parts of the world there are a whole lot of like libraries with millions and millions of books. Mine probably only has like thousands, maybe 100,000 if I'm lucky, maybe if we're lucky, because like this area in general really doesn't have a ton of people. You son of a bitch. I was trying to open that, gosh darn it. New kind of reaction. We'll play. I'll take it. And to just like I'm not gonna say that all libraries are bad and like that type of thing, but at the same time, to me personally, they are a very boring experience, and someone especially like me that doesn't like reading is definitely not gonna feel at home in a library. Okay, thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time, and I bid you all adieu, goodbye!